Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekend Live Update. And I will review charts here. Today, we're going to do things a bit different. What I'm going to do is on the left side, I will put short term chart using my standard deviation bands. That will help me analyze daily trend and in the short term how markets are doing. And on the right side, I'll put a long term chart and a daily chart, and we'll try to analyze how markets would do, okay, next week. So first thing first, starting with Nasdaq, which is tech sector. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, just post in the chat. I will review all the questions at the end, or you can comment in the video here, and then I'll review it. Also, I have a Discord server in the description of this video. When I post it later on, you can join free Discord server. You can talk directly with me, and you can ask any questions you have. So we can review that. Okay, anyhow, follow my cursor and follow on the right here, okay, where my mouse is moving. This is NDX Nasdaq 100 chart. This is sector consists of all US tech stocks, okay, Apple, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, all of them. So you can see this is weekly chart, and each candlestick represents a week of price action, and you can see we are trying to make a lower high in a weekly. You can see we were making higher lows. We made a low, and this is a higher low compared to previous low, and looks like we want to come back. So now focus on these two lines, okay, green line and red line. So in a bull market, price goes under the here. Worst case, it can go as low as 14, like this red line, okay, which is right now at 14,100, okay, and then green line it usually touches for sure, and then the worst case it comes all the way down here and then go. So you can see this yellow scenario, looks like that scenario might be playing out, and looks like this thing is maybe it wants to come down and back test before it can go up and go close all of these gaps. So let me show you in a bear market, it same thing, it goes under this band, green band, red band, and come back, and then in a bull market it goes in and then goes higher. All right, so follow my cursor here. You can see here this is a bull market of 2020 weekly chart. Price action went higher, come back under these two bands, and then went higher again, come back, went higher, come back, went higher, come back. So you can see entire 2020 bull market, 2020 to 2021, 2 years, it was like that. Okay, this was one of the shortest book bull market. You can see what happened here. Price came back, still some it undercut it slightly. Now then went higher, come back higher, come back higher, and you can see this is the longest bull market. If I zoom out, this was 2016 to 2018, so almost 3 years. So you can see here price going higher, go back to gather energy, go back higher, sometimes just touches green line. It does not go as low as red line, so touches higher, touches higher. So worst case it will touch red line. You can see here sometimes it touches it and then again bounce, touch, bounce. So this also could be possible now. Okay, so again let's keep looking. You can see every time same scenario, right? No matter how long I go, how far away I go, very similar. All right, so what are we doing today? So again, we are here right now. So it's possible uh, we could come back. So I think this yellow case now need to be updated. So it looks like it could have made a high here, and it might want to come back and come back in this. Now when we are in this band, I don't know if we can go as low as 14,100, okay, or this could be it, okay. It's possible this could be it. We might have already seen the bottom. It doesn't need to go make a new low. All right, so like I said before, in a bull market it touches green band for sure. Going all the way again to second band is not a guarantee. Okay, you can see how here we made a low, it went higher and never came back below previous low. So you can see even if we come back in the band, we can touch green line. It doesn't need to go below this. All right, so just be very careful, remember that. So if you can hold for until December, now almost September, mid October, November, December, 3 months, you know we will be going and closing above this all-time highs. Okay, so if you're patient, September is a week seasonality month, and you can do it like this: NDX seasonality chart. You can quickly look at seasonality chart, and you can see if I go to images, just want to show you something here. You can see this is NDX seasonality chart. You can see how in September you can see we consolidate, but today this time we're going down, and then from mid to from mid September we get a massive pump. Okay, so if it has to repeat same thing, we have CPI data coming on Tuesday. So what can happen on Monday, we can just consolidate, and then when you get used to CPI data, we get a massive pump, and that pump. If you look at percentage wise, that's around 2% pump. Okay, so if we get that, again, this is another chart here. So let's see if there's a geometric which could show better. Let's see if I can find seasonality geometric chart. Uh, which shows is better. I cannot see it here for some reason. That's okay. But you can see September, we can, by next week, we can probably get another pump after CPI data. If we go to Market Watch, US economic news, you can just go to Google economic news. You can just search like that, and then you can go to Google to search about that. And it's taking a while to load. So you can go to like this US economic calendar, and you can see next Tuesday 12th is basically 12th of September. Actually 13th of September we have CPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. All right. uh, you can see what is the forecast is this 3.6. So it looks like they increased forecast. That's very interesting. Year over year is CPI year over year. Core CPI they have lowered, and regular CPI they raised the forecast. I don't know how this thing works. So before it was lower, now they raised the forecast. So let's see how it comes. But yeah, next couple of days we could get another consolidation in September, and then we're gonna get a pump after CPI. That could be possible based on this. All right, so just be mindful of that. So again, going back here, so we covered weekly. Let's go to daily. And let me go to US 100. So you can see, let me get rid of this indicator and add another indicator, which is EMA lines. These are regular EMA lines on daily chart. And let me hide this. Okay, so you can see on daily chart in September month, we are just consolidating. Okay, so what's happening? These are uh, all these are EMA lines. So red is 50 EMA SMA, yellow is 50 EMA, white one is 20 EMA, green one is 10 EMA. Okay, so it looks like we are just consolidating in a daily chart. It looks like it's making higher low. You can see this low was higher than previous low, so higher lows we are making, and now we closed right above. We bounced from this support. Okay, this is 50 EMA line. It was around 15125, so we bounced from there. All right, so where we closed right above this white line, which is 20 EMA line, which is very good. Let's look at triple Qs, how it looks like. This is the cash index. You can see very nicely. Actually, it's even better here because we are closing right above this red line, which is 50 SMA line. So this is daily chart. And also you can see what's happening on daily chart. If I hide these indicator for a while, you can see we had this downward sloping line. We broke out, and then we, instead of holding here, we were holding here, we broke down, and now we could not close above this line. So it is possible we could come back from here. So let's try to indicate what's possible. It is still possible that we can come down a little bit more and then go higher. Okay, so you can see this big support line here. It's quite possible we can come down here and then bounce. And then let's quickly look at the levels for next week, and let me add this EMA line so it makes life a little bit easier. So this is daily chart, and focus on left side. So this indicator works perfectly. This indicator, if it goes to green lines, these are support lines. That means this is where you should be looking to buy. This is for short term, this is for 1 day chart. So one candlestick, this is like a zoomed in version of one candlestick. If it goes to red lines, you should be looking to sell. So for example, you can focus on this candlestick on this day. Let me hide again. So you can see you can focus on this candlestick. So it came from 15,375, and you can see here this was here around 15,375 when it came to the highest point on 1 day chart. This short-term chart was telling me this is where you are to sell. Okay, you can see at maximum the short-term charge told me this is where you need to sell, so I sold it. And then as soon as you get to the neutral line, you need neutral line is basically no trade line. Okay, there's no edge to bulls or bulls and bears, so this is a no trade zone. So either you short on red line or you buy on green line. Okay, you can see here also you buy on green line. So this bottom line, which is 15208, you can see what happened here, 15208, very close to green line. Okay, so this indicator works perfectly on a daily basis, and you can easily make, like, from here when it came here, you can easily, as soon as it went to neutral line, you could have sold your profits from 0.5%. And again, when it came to red line, you could have sold it for 0.62%. All right, so where we closed, we close in the middle. So on Monday, if we are here, I take no trades. If we go here, so the level is 15,399. And if let me go to NDX daily chart. Actually, leave it here. Let's go to US. Let's leave it here. So so NDX, this is cash index. So let's see if how closely it's correlated. So it's 15,280. This is 15,296. So if we relate, it's 16 points different. Okay. So let's say, so here it's, this one is 16 points higher than this. So here 15,397, let's say 15,400 to make our life easy. And that will be around, let's say 15,400 minus 16, 15,384. Okay, so 15,384, we could go here. If we go here on Nasdaq, 15,384, this is where you want to sell. Okay, and on daily chart, like on an hourly chart, there are multiple gaps. One gap here, one gap here, one gap here, three gaps on Nasdaq. Uh, but looks like on Monday we cannot really go above 15,300 because these resistances will put a lot of pressure for on Nasdaq to sell down. Okay, so, so what are we going to do if we go here on around 15,380, 15,380-ish? That's where you should be looking to sell. And if we go down below 15,179, which is around, let's say 15,600, let's say, to make it easier, 15, sorry, not 15, 15, two, this is 15,179, so it's going to be 15,1, let's say 150-ish. So around here, 15. Around here, previous lows. If it comes down all the way down here in previous low, this is where you should be looking to buy. So you can copy these levels and put it on your chart as a short-term analysis on for Monday's trade, and that's how you're gonna trade. Okay, so anyhow, so this is daily chart of Nasdaq, and that's how you correlate. So futures, this is US 100 futures here. They run 24/7. So if they come down, look to buy in this area. If they go higher, look to sell in this area. All right, and triple Qs. Let's quickly look at triple Qs. This is the cash index, and on triple Qs, like I said, it's possible we could come down. So from here, if you have to estimate, we can come down around 0.8%. So from the close on Monday, triple Qs, if it comes down to 0.8%, it's going to be right near the trend line. So it could follow this green path. So if it comes to trend line, this is where the support lines are. That's why you should be looking to buy. And this trend line is somewhere around 368-ish area. Okay. So it comes down here, look to buy. You do not short. Okay, if it comes down here, you do not short. Okay, you short only on the break of this trend line on daily chart, and until then, it could bounce from here to fill all these gaps after CPI news on Wednesday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. All right, so that's on S&P 500. So that's on Nasdaq. Let's quickly look at S&P 500 SPY. So what you can do is you can go right from here to US 500. So you can see even on S&P 500, same thing, same concept, which I told you below, buy on green lines, sell on red lines. So you can see this indicator works very, very nicely there. So we were here in the early trading time. So you could have bought and sold very nicely near red lines. Okay, and then we close right on the neutral line. So same thing here. This is daily chart. You can see S&P 500 is closing right on the neutral line, and which is a no trade zone, but there's no advantage. Let me just quickly check if there is anything. Uh, Anybody here? Okay, somebody asked me for Air Canada. Yes, I will review Air Canada at the end. Okay. Uh, all right. So we close right on the neutral line. So let's quickly look at SPY and let's try to develop a trade plan on SPY. So let me bring that here. Let me get SPY index. This is the cash index. Actually, I was on SPY. I did not realize. So what are we going to check on SPY based on this trading? You can see we can go from here on Monday. If we go right below to 0.6% down. So on SPY daily chart, 0.6% down from the close is around 442. Okay, so it's pretty much close to previous day's candle. That's the area of support. So what you can do is you can draw a line here like that. This is the area of support. If you come down here, you can see very nicely this was support here, became resistance, broke out, became resistance here, then broke out, tested here. So it could come back to test this and then go higher too. So that's quite possible. Okay. So I'm going to delete this. Or if it goes to the top from here, which is around 0.5%, that's where you should be looking to exit. So from here, 0.5% is around not even the gap fill. So it's around same like previous a day before candle. This candle was open here and close right red. So basically it's around 448. So the price is going to move between, let's say, 448 and here. Okay, this is the range for Monday. So it's going to either, if it comes here, look to buy. If it comes here, look to sell. All right, I don't think it's going to go above that because this small short-term indicator won't let it go above that. So you know how to use this indicator now. Now Dow Jones, same thing here. What you can do is you can go to US 30 and you can see Dow Jones is going higher than the neutral chart. So Dow Jones is looks like very it looks better short than Nasdaq and S&P 500 because it's closing higher. So if Dow Jones go to 34,672, look to sell. And if Dow Jones, so it's here, if it goes to 34, you can draw these levels here. If it goes here, that's a good sell. And if it comes back to 34,367, you can look to buy. Okay. And same thing with Russell 2000. So you can see Russell 2000. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this because it's a bit confusing. Russell 2000 is better. Looks like it's in a buy zone. So if it comes to 1846 and below, you can be looking to buy. So 1846 is right here. Uh, Previous day's low. So if it comes low at a low towards previous day's daily candle low, very good area to buy. That's why you should be looking to buy. And I think it can pump from here. Also, you can see on Russell, based on cycle analysis, which I did before, you can see a low is coming due here right now. So it's possible we could come a little bit more lower, and then with CPI data, we're going to get a bounce. All right. So just be mindful of that. All right. So let's look at gold, and we can put gold chart here as well, short-term analysis on gold as well, so we can see both together. So gold daily chart looks like a rejection candle here. You can see this daily candle looks really bearish on gold. This candle got rejected and now it's getting closer to buy zone. 1916 and below look to buy. So if it comes to here 1916, look to buy. And it is facing resistance, like on a daily chart you can see it was in a big resistance zone. You can see, so it broke out, came back, resistance here, and now again not able to go above that. Silver, same thing. You can see holding very nicely this trend line. So let me put silver here. Silver 22.57 short term. I'm looking to buy. So 22.57 will put silver right on this trend line, and that's where it will be the perfect time to buy. And that's what I'll be looking to buy on Monday. So if it comes below in this green line, perfect time to buy silver. Natural gas. Let me bring natural gas here. I can see in short term, it's very, it was last couple of days easy to trade. You can see whenever it goes to short zone, you can buy gold inverse ETF. Every time it goes above first standard deviation, look to buy gold. And now again, it's trying to go above. So I think we will get some. So here, if it's here on Monday cash open, you can look to buy gold inverse ETF. Or if it comes here, you can buy BOIL or UNG. So the levels are 2.646 to buy. So, and also you can see on a daily chart, it's holding this trend line very nicely. And this is a bottom forming pattern, and you can see natural gas already formed a bottom. You can see it made a new low with high divergence of on PP and RSI. You can see massive dump, and it's just consolidating, and it's now looking good, and it's trying to form a bottom. If it comes to 2.66, which is going to be right on this trend line, that will be perfect area to buy. Crude oil, very bullish in the neutral zone, so no advantage to bulls or bears. So if it comes near 85.74, which will be previous very close to the 85.74, is going to be very close to the daily low. You can look to buy again, and then if it comes to 87.53, you should be looking to sell. So it's buy the dip. Crude oil is looking very bullish. There was this news on from Russia and Ukraine, where they are trying to they're trying to stop supply of crude oil, so that's acting up. So anyhow, so if it comes down in this area, support area, look to buy crude oil. Dollar, very bullish move. Let's look at daily chart. This could be a reversal candle. Okay, you can see hanging man candle, and you can see short term is getting very close to the sell zone. So I'm not bullish on dollars, which is good for gold and Bitcoin. So if it sells from here, then you can see I'm thinking it's gonna eventually, this is a resistance zone. I'm thinking it's gonna sell all the way down here, which this is gonna be good bullish for Bitcoin, gold, and stock market. Bitcoin daily chart, you can see daily chart. I still have green line above red line, and on RSI also a green dot. And short-term chart, this is live market. It's very close to buy zone, which is around 25.809, and getting closer to neutral zone now. So you can see Bitcoin is holding this support very nicely. This vertical, this is a angle support, I guess, support here, and now it's all again on support, and even on horizontal support. You can see Bitcoin is right on support, and this is where you should be looking to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so look, you can see here, it's now here still holding it. I have no indication of a dump, so as long as it's holding well, it's all good. All right. And Ethereum, same thing. You can see here it's holding this support line, and you can see it was resistance here, and it broke out, tested and hold it, again tried to break out, and now it's again on the support. And let me go to Ethereum short-term chart as well. You can see it's in the neutral line, so you cannot do anything. So for daily chart, if it falls below 1629 and below, look to buy. But on a long-term chart, I have no indication of Ethereum saying it's time to sell. If it I get a red dot and I get PPO crossover, green line below red line, that would be an indication to sell. But right now I have no indication to sell, and it's right on support, and this is where you should be looking to buy, not selling. All right. And let's look at commodities very quick. Copper by the dip came on the, you can see daily chart right on the support line, and then even short term is right on the support. This is where you buy copper. Palladium, let's quickly look at palladium right in the support zone, buy zone. You can see very close to buy zone. This is where you should be looking to buy palladium. Wheat also, you can see right on this support trend line. And wheat on in the short term also very close to buy zone. So you can wait for wheat to come down to 570, very close there right now. These are all good levels to buy in my opinion. Corn, let's quickly look at corn here, short term. It's in the middle neutral line, and it's consolidating. So let's see if corn can break out until it goes above 15.2. I'm not too bullish on corn. Soya beans, long-term chart coming back on this support, this trend line, not trend line, this is support zone, buy zone. You can see very nicely short-term also touch green line. This is where you want to buy soya beans. SOYB is the ETF. Sugar, trying to make new all-time high, just consolidating, maybe flagging for a bit. And you can see short-term still a bit higher. If it comes below 25.9, look to buy here, sugar. All right. And Newmont Mine, very 0.9%. It was up almost 2% in the morning, but I think all stocks gave up by the end of the day. If it comes below 38.17, look to buy again. Gold miners, same thing. Gold miners have a gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, a gap here around 28 bucks. So look to buy on any of the gaps. So around 28, you can see on the left side, this is the gap. So I'm looking for that gap to fill to buy it again. Okay, guys, let's see what else is here. Let's look at some tech stocks. And Apple, this trend line barely holding, it broke out. Let's go to 1 hour chart. I think it closed this gap, so you can delete this morning gap is closed. So you can see still holding this trend line. So as long as it still did not give fill this gap, so these gaps will be filled. I just don't know when. From here, first gap is 1.8%, second gap is 6%, third gap is 6.96, fourth gap is 9.62% higher, all right? Also some gaps to the downside, but as long as this trend is, this support is holding, do not be too bearish. Tesla also holding the support line. Let me show you the levels here on the left side. So Apple levels are 177.51 and below, look to buy Apple, okay? Tesla short-term levels 245.26 and below. Follow my cursor here. Look to buy Tesla, but it's also holding this trend line very nicely. So as long as it's holding this trend line, everything is good. So if it falls below this level, look to buy. Microsoft up 1.32%, still not able to go above this trend line. I feel like I might have to adjust this trend line a little bit like this because it's making another trend line now. So I might do that now. Looks like, but let me see. I will take a look later on. So let's keep it like this for now. And if I go to 1 hour chart, it's still gap is still not filled. So Microsoft trying all its power, maybe trying to make an inverse head and shoulder to break out, but looking good. Okay, so short-term chart, it's near sell zone, and this is where you don't buy Microsoft. You wait for Microsoft to fall below 328.26 to buy. Google also on this trend line nicely. It back tested this support line and then now going higher, and on the short term also getting very close to sell zone. If it comes below 134 and 0.53, look to buy. Meta is also on this very nicely support line, holding it right now. A big rejection candle. This could be a rejection in a candle, and we could be going lower, but as of now, it's holding support. 293.36 and below, look to buy Meta. Amazon looking good, 0.28% higher, and again trying its best to go above this trend line, close right on this trend line. So don't be too well. Actually, in short term, it does look like it wants to. It is near the sell zone. So if it goes below 135, 135 and below, look to buy. Netflix also looking good, holding support line and right near neutral zone. If it falls below 434.34, look to buy Netflix. And then Nvidia, last one, right on this trend line again, close right on this trend line and nearby zone. So I won't be shorting Nvidia here. I will be looking to buy 453.95 and below, look to buy AMD, and AMD also below this trend line looks like a rejection candle, but also getting closer to buy zone. I think chips overall Friday had some weakness, but it's getting closer to the buy range. All right, guys. I think that's a good review. So let's see what questions you have. Air Canada, let's look at Air Canada, AC. This is Air Canada. Let's look at short-term chart of Air Canada as well. So short-term, oh wow. Short-term, it's near third standard deviation. This is a perfect time to buy Air Canada. And I can see here, wow, it's very rare for stock to go below third standard deviation. So it's looking very, very nice to me. Is there a news? Was there a news why it went down so far, so down? Uh, I'm not sure what happened on Air Canada stock, why it was pilot shortage challenge, something to do with pilot shortage and debt concern. But okay, long-term chart, there is this massive gap here. Okay, so we have to be careful of that gap. And I do have a sell signal, red dot. So long-term, it does look like Air Canada can go a little bit more lower. And you can see PPO green line is below red line, which is not a good sign. And the only thing which is bothering me is this gap here. You can see on this daily chart, there's this massive gap, earnings gap. It could come all the way down, unfortunately. And let me see if there's any, if there's some support where it is right now. So let's try to add a rectangle. You can see this whole area, some support here where it is right now. You can see some confluence, but there's also, I think, better support here, this area, right? And if it comes all the way here around 19 bucks, it might as well come to 1879. So my target would be this gap here around 1879, and the reason is I don't see any divergence, right? I don't see any divergences happening. Even let's go to 1 hour chart. You can see 1 hour price is going lower, PPO is going lower, RSI is going lower. I want to see divergences happening. So what that means is something like this. Okay, you can see price is going lower and PPO is going higher. So you can see this low is higher than this low, and even on RSI you can see we made a new low here, and you can see RSI is higher than previous lows. Okay, and here also you can see PPO is making higher low. So I want to see some of that forming. Until that happens, I think it's going lower, still lower prices coming. There are no indications of bottom here yet. Short term, we can get a bounce, sure, like it's in the buy zone. Short term, we could get a little bit of bounce, but be very quick. If you're buying here near third standard deviation, as soon as it reaches like this neutral line, $21 or something, 21.5 or 21, like just look to take profits very, very soon and put stop loss. But I think short term, I feel like it's going all the way down to 1879. Unfortunately, if you're holding Air Canada, it's a bad news, but again, that looks like a very good level to go long again, and that would be my target. Zach, if BTC breakdown, you suggest stop loss option. Uh, BTC, let's quickly look at BTC. Uh, so this is BTC long-term chart, and actually I'm gonna go over long-term now. Let's expand this because I don't need the short-term anymore. That's more for education only. So this is Bitcoin. So yeah, so Bitcoin, you can, like on Bitcoin, if there are levels, if you have to say, there's also this good support here, all right? There's a good support here, all right? So if worst case, if it falls from here, it can come here all the way around 20,000, all right? And I want to show you something on the futures. This is BTC CME futures. You can see I always have this gap as a target. You can see this 20,000. You can see this massive gap. Let me zoom in, Zach, for you. You can see this gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, um, I might have to go here. Okay, you can see this day here. This day here, exactly on 12th of March 2023, we had a gap up, and that gap is still not filled. So this will be filled at some point. I just don't know when. Okay, and if we see weakness in market, this might be a perfect time for BTC to go down here and fill this gap. So yeah, so if this support breaks, I think we're coming down to fill this gap. So if you're holding Bitcoin, it's at 25K right now, and a drop off from 25K to, that's a big drop, almost 20% drop. So yeah, you should definitely put a stop loss on Bitcoin if you're holding right now. If it breaks this support, it's right here around 25. Let's say around 20. We can go lower. Let's say this low here. So around 24,800. If it goes below 24,800, it might as well come all the way down to 20,000. So be very careful here on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. And on Ethereum, that gap is around here, 1428. Okay, so you can see same gap here on Ethereum, 1428 from here. That gap is around 12%. So Ethereum is slightly better, looks like, but yeah, Bitcoin, if it breaks, it can fall really quick. But so far, my indicators are giving me no indication, so I cannot tell you it's gonna break. But just be careful there. Let's see what else is there on the chat. Let me zoom. Let me make this so I can see your chat like this. Let me make this window like this. Yeah, this is better. So I can see your chat here. Okay, Sophie. Let's look at Sophie. Sophie. Oh wow, nice. So you see, somebody asked me before about Sophie, and I did this, right? So somebody asked me about Sophie, and I said if it breaks this trend line, and the reason I was telling them is there's big support here, and it's coming on the support, and you can see it was making lower lows with higher momentum on PPO and RSI, and it's this is backwards sloping trend line. It could not go above that, and it broke out. And I was expecting a back test, which we never got. Okay, so we never got a back test, and I have some lines here. I don't know why. Let me go to regular trading hours, and looks like there were some gaps. They filled it, so let me delete all these gaps. Yeah, looks like these gaps are filled, so I have to delete these. Let's see on the way up, did it leave any gaps? Okay, so on the way up, it did leave a gap here. So let's mark those gap on 1 hour chart. Okay, so you can see one gap is here. That's the only gap actually I see. I don't see any other gaps. Okay, so let's go to daily again. It's like this chart is like so. There's not a lot of data here, so very hard to basically uh, predict, right? But you can see what's happening. We did not even make a low. I do have a buy signal on Sophie. You can see RSI, I have a green dot, and on PPO, green line is still above red line. So I don't think there's anything to worry about right now. Let's bring in moving averages, and you can see it's below all the moving average. That's a bad sign. And 200 MA SMA is also coming here, blue line. So it's below all like 50 EMA, 50 SMA, 20 EMA, and 10 moving average, which is green lights below all. So it looks like you can see what was happening. Okay, you can see we made a new high here. You can see we made a new high on Sophie. This was a new high, and with lower momentum on PPO and RSI. You can see these are the things you'd see, and you can predict a downtrend. You can see lower momentum on PPO, and same thing here, lower momentum on RSI. All right. So then we got a dump. Right now it's right on this support area, a little bit of support here. So the support here is, you can see this whole area here. It's right in the support zone right now, okay? So this is your best chances for Sophie to hold this support. You can see this became resistance here, broke out, support, made a divergent high, new high with divergence in PPO and RSI, and now came back to this support line. So let's see if it can, it's hopefully it will hold here and then bounce. If it does not hold, then unfortunately you see this big gap. Uh, if it breaks this support, so the last support, last defense is around 7.72. If it goes below that, I think it's coming straight down from here to here, around 30, almost 30% drop. Unfortunately, I don't know if you're holding long or not. Actually, there's another gap here. Looks like I missed this gap. So let me try to get that gap. Uh, okay, this gap here, I missed this gap too. So this is another gap here. All right. So yeah, looks like there are a few gaps open on Sophie on the way up, and there are no divergences. So it could, if this support holds, it's good. I right now have no indication that this support will not hold. If this support holds, it's all good. But if it breaks, your stop loss should be around below 7.72. Okay, if you're buying it, if it falls below 7.72, it's coming all the way down to fill these two gaps, 6.05 and 5.43. And then September is usually a bearish month, seasonality wise, so it can come almost 30% to fill first gap, and then it could come back to fill second gap as well. So be very careful. And on the other side, if you have cash, you want to buy Sophie, wait for these gaps to fill, and then you can buy. All right, that's my review on that. Let's do Suncor SU, I think. Suncor to Toronto Stock Exchange. So Suncor, very oversold, very oversold. So you should be looking to take profits right here. You can see RSI very oversold. It's showing background green, very oversold. You can see PPO green line is about to cross over red line, still did not cross it, but you should take profits when it's showing green background. Okay, so this is not the time to buy. Okay, not the time to buy, especially when on 1 hour chart you see how many gaps it's filling on the way up. You can see gap here, you can see gap here, you can see gap here, right? Even here this is filled. So on the way up there were multiple gaps and it's very oversold on PPO and RSI. I don't want to buy here. Okay, I want to wait for a pullback. Let's bring moving averages back here to see. You can see this is like a parabolic move, buddy. Very parabolic move. So I think at minimum I want to wait for it to dip. I don't want to buy Suncor here. I have no interest in buying Suncor here, especially if I zoom out. You can see this whole area. This is a big resistance here, right? If I make it red, this also I make it red. Okay, the big resistance here. All right, near all-time highs. You can see with the coming, it is at resistance right now. Okay, you can see every time it goes here, you can see here same thing here, came very top, very close, dump, same here, dump, same here, dump. So I think we'll get a cool down here, and my targets are, I think it's a good time to short, to be honest. 42.71 this first gap fill, and then second gap fill is 38. I don't think it's going to come all the way down. This could be a good area to buy, 42.71. So if it comes down from there around 8% down, that's a good area to buy Suncor before it can go higher. All right. So yeah, if you're holding, perfect time to sell and take profits. Am I just holding? I think it will go to 16 or 17K. James Sophie. Sophie, what is 16.7? Let's see. 16 Sophie. Oh, you're thinking it's gonna go higher? Sure, yeah. Good luck. If you wanna, if it can hold this area, if you can hold this area, the next resistance is right here. You can see this whole area here. So you can see this next resistance. So it can go somewhere here around 14, 15 bucks. Yeah, 14, let's say 15 bucks. It can go there. So if it holds this, I have no indication of a sell. If it holds this, yeah, sure, it can go to 14 and then previous highs. So yeah, good luck with both scenarios. Okay, guys, I don't have any questions. Hopefully, you guys having a great weekend, and I'll post another video. Let's see if tomorrow is possible, or else I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, guys. Take